Funding for the production of Public Square provided by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, working to improve the lives of vulnerable children.
That's our tagline, is school success begins at birth.
I think this is one of the disconnects that we have in our society, is that we're not paying attention to those infants up to 3 years old.
When they're coming in, there's that achievement gap, and it may narrow, but it doesn't ever close.
Psychosocial factors like domestic violence, poverty, just general stresses, even in utero, actually affect the way the brain develops.
All of us can be brain builders, and we're not doing that. So we have a long way to go.
Welcome to Public Square, where civic dialogue takes center stage.
I don't think that we're going to address the achievement gap unless we also promote executive function skills, which are helping children learn how to learn.
Before children learn to talk, it may seem little is happening in their brains. In fact, from 0 to 3 years of age is the most crucial time for brain development. In the first few years of life, 700 new neural connections are formed every second. Young children naturally reach out for interaction. If they don't get responses from us, their brain's architecture doesn't form as expected. That can impact learning and social development later in life. How are we going to ensure New Mexico's children achieve their highest potential? Today, we'll hear from experts, educators, and advocates. Then we'll be joined by Dan Haggard of the Children, Youth, and Families Department, Heather Vaughn with Albuquerque Public Schools, and Brenda Kofal of the State Public Education Department. But first, we'll talk with national expert Ellen Galinsky, founder of Mind in the Making, about the 7 essential skills children need for successful early brain development.
Can we sit under the tables? No. Should I be able to hear your voice? Raise quiet hands. Why do we...
Children start their lives passionate about learning, but as they get older, something happens. They lose that initial spark. Why? Ellen Galinsky decided to find out. That process inspired her to write Mind in the Making, 7 essential skills every child needs.
Mind in the Making is the result of now a 12-year journey to understand from science what we can do to keep the fire in children's eyes. There are these skills, I now call them life skills, that emerge in children. We don't think very much about them, but if they are promoted, they help children really prosper. All of these skills are based on what's called executive functions of the brain. It's the part of our brain that brings together our social, our emotional, and our cognitive capacities in pursuit of goals, and came to believe so strongly that unless we promote these skills, we're not going to solve the educational problems that we have in this country.
Set, go!
They make a big difference for kids now, but what's interesting to me, because I run a research organization that does the 2 definitive studies on the U.S. workforce, both a study of workers and a study of employers. And I said, wow, this is what I've been hearing employers complain about for years. So the skills are focus and self-control, and that's the ability to pay attention amid distractions and have the self-control to do what you need to do to achieve a goal. The second skill is perspective taking, and it's understanding how other people think and feel.
How do you think Jesse feels about going to 4th grade?
If you understand how your teacher thinks and feels, how the other kids in your class think and feel, if you understand what the characters in a story are saying, you do better in school. The third skill that I see as important is communicating, which is not just literacy, it's what in the corporate world you'd call the elevator speech.
So Jesse's excited to go to 4th grade. What could our next sentence be? Maybe
Evan is not excited because he's going to go to the same class with her.
Excellent. Write that down.
Knowing what you want to say, but also being able to take the perspective of others and knowing how it's going to be received. The fourth skill is making connections. That is symbolic relationships, the stand for relationship.
Re plus move equals what?
Remove.
Remove, good. That's the new word.
In all knowledge, math, a bunch of objects stand for a number, stand for a larger concept. If you look at letters and reading and almost all knowledge, it's based on symbolic representation. We worry in this country about creativity. I know employers talk a lot about the need for thinking outside of the box because the problems that we face today, we don't necessarily know the answers to. Creativity is making unusual connections, and yet we don't promote that. Critical thinking is the 5th skill.
You may enter, but you may not come in. I have space, but no room. I have keys, but no lock to open. What am I?
A door.
Ooh, think for a second.
Studies have found that if you don't answer children's questions right away, you are promoting critical thinking and you're keeping that fire in children's eyes alive. I can tell you walking into a classroom all the time whether or not they're promoting the skills.
On your body.
Taking on challenges, to me, is one of the more critical skills. It's more than coping with stress.
In the middle of the moon. Are you looking? Look, what do you see?
It's important for people to be able to deal with that, but more than deal with that, to try the next harder problem.
I'm going to give you a clue. I want you to look very closely at the words and see what you find.
If we're going to make progress as a world, as an economy, as people, in science, in whatever we do, we're going to have to try those things that are hard. The final skill is being a self-directed, engaged learner, and that's kind of the point of all of it. How do we remember what we learn, and how do we transfer what we've learned to a new situation? And that is very instructive in helping keep that fire in children's eyes.
Hoping that we can start to associate what we do with the babies and how we raise the babies and how parents become capable of being parents is directly related to our future.
We know so much more today than we did years ago. And the wonderful message in all of this research for me is that we can do this. Don't be intimidated. We're all on the same team. I'm a grandmother, I'm a mother, I'm an educator, and we've all had those same experiences. So we've got to kind of put down those roles and put down those barriers and say, how do we work together to help all children succeed?
It's essential to get this right, because if not, we're going to stay at the bottom, and we need to have better programs and services for our children in order to rise above and be a better state.
Leadership matters. It matters in the Roundhouse, matters in the White House, matters in your house and in my house. And the better the leadership, the more momentum we will have to continue to move forward with good quality early childhood development, leading towards success for all children.
It's critical for us as a country if we want to continue to be leaders in the world and to make a difference. I think we need to start on day one, and I think that's really, really important to realize.